Hey guys, it's Michael. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020, and this is your late in the day update for what is going on in the world today with your money. In today's video, we're going to cover two very important economic reports that came out and were released by the US government earlier today about the economy, unemployment, and retail sales report. Then we're going to get into Russian hackers who were behind cyber attacks on virus vaccine developers in the US, UK, and in Canada. And finally, we're going to go over what former Congressional Budget Office chief economist is saying about the second stimulus package, what we absolutely have to see in it, unless we want the next couple of months to look very ugly and have a horrendous economy moving forward. But before we get started, if you're interested in staying up to date on what's going on in the world with your money and how to make more money, then please be sure to like the video down below and subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when new videos come out. Also, don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $5 immediately when you download the Acorns investing app. Anyways, let's jump right into it and let's go over the two economic reports that came out earlier today. So there was a fresh reading on signs of an economic recovery that came out today with two U.S. government reports. The Commerce Department released the retail sales figures for the month of June earlier today, and a modest increase was expected thanks in part to federal stimulus checks and tax refunds from the federal government. The Commerce Department said earlier today that retail sales rose 7.5% in June after a record surge in May, as federal stimulus checks and tax refunds continue to fuel a burst of summertime spending at newly reopened stores and restaurants. The increases follow 2 months of steep declines earlier in the year when everything was under lockdown, and they're saying right now the main reason we're seeing these increases is because of all the stimulus measures and help from the government that was passed in the CARES Act. The rise in cases in states like California, Florida, and Texas is raising the possibility of another shutdown, which would dramatically hurt store-based retailers, and it would cause a major blow to the retail sector. If things have to shut down again, well then a number of these restaurants, shops, they're going to struggle significantly from what is going on. The other report that came out earlier today was the weekly Labor Department unemployment claims report. The Labor Department said that 1.3 million people filed initial claims for unemployment benefits this week alone. And while weekly unemployment claims have continued to decline every single week since all-time highs earlier during the pandemic in March, it is still much higher than levels we've seen before the pandemic, and it is the 17th straight week where we have seen more than 1 million unemployment claims. Economists on Wall Street had expected the report to show 1.25 million new claims for state unemployment insurance. So since the Labor Department announced 1.3 million claims earlier today, that signals that new restrictions in states like California, Florida, and all across the country, they say that these restrictions are starting to hurt the rebound of the economy. We're seeing dramatic increases in the number of cases and record highs every single day. Florida had a record number of deaths. The US had over 67,000 cases yesterday, and because of this, more restrictions are being put into place, and this is causing more businesses to shut down and more people losing their jobs. So it'll be important to keep an eye on what happens here in the next couple of weeks. According to Gus Foucher, chief economist at PNC Financial Services Group in Pittsburgh, he said the labor market is not as bad as it was earlier in the year, a couple of months ago. But he said we are still in a very deep hole and we need more stimulus measures to be passed in order to see the economy recover moving forward. The National Security Agency said earlier today a hacking group associated with Russian intelligence was targeting healthcare organizations to gain intelligence about virus vaccines. The US, British, and Canadian governments said on Thursday that Russian hackers are attempting to steal virus vaccine research. The Russian hackers have been targeting British, Canadian, and American organizations using spear phishing and malware to try to get access to the research as well as information about medical supply chains. Mike Chappell, an associate professor who teaches cybersecurity at Notre Dame and a former Air Force intelligence officer, he said there was likely little immediate damage to global public health. However, he goes on to explain that the potential harm that is being done here is limited to commercial harm with these businesses, to companies that are devoting a lot of their own resources, spending tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into developing a vaccine in hopes that it will be financially rewarding down the road. So he's saying all these companies are spending tens of millions of dollars hoping that they'll develop a vaccine and they'll be able to profit off of it in the future. And because of these Russian hackers, it could jeopardize their plans of making money moving forward. Wendy Edelberg, senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and a former chief economist at the Congressional Budget Office, said earlier today that this is a horrendous time to have a lapse in unemployment benefits and stimulus checks. And she expects households are living on a week-to-week financial basis right now. She goes on to say that I am far more worried what Congress ends up passing will be a lot less supportive than what was initially in the CARES Act. She explains how lawmakers may see unemployment numbers and see that things have gotten better and use that as a sign that they don't need to pass as dramatic of stimulus measures. And she said this is very concerning because if they don't do something dramatic, the recovery of the economy is going to be dragged out in a lot longer than it would be if they did more dramatic stimulus measures. The one good thing here is that we are seeing unemployment claims higher than expected this past week, and with more states shutting down again, that would definitely push the government to pass more dramatic stimulus measures, direct stimulus checks, and continue the enhanced unemployment benefits. Congress had wanted to wait to see how the data was looking, and right now things are actually getting worse. So while they were going to wait, and if things were getting better, they weren't going to pass as dramatic of stimulus measures, now things are getting worse. So since things are getting worse, it's going to push them to do something more dramatic in the next round. She goes on to explain how living standards could drop significantly, poverty may increase, and rent and mortgage payments could be a struggle moving forward if they don't pass more stimulus very soon. A lot of these unemployment benefits and stimulus measures expire at the end of July. And if they don't act quickly, tens of millions of people are going to be without any sort of income, and they will have no way to pay their bills. She said some people will be able to get jobs, but millions of people will be unable to get a job no matter what they do because there's simply not enough people hiring. She said there will be no way to fill in those income gaps of those millions of people who are unemployed without a dramatic stimulus package moving forward and some sort of recurring stimulus checks. So that's just a quick update for you on what is going on in the world late in the day on Thursday, July 16th, 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. Get $5 immediately when you download the Acorns investing app. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.